Welcome to Kabbalah Daily, where ancient wisdom meets modern life. My name is Eli Bennett, and in today's episode, the tree of life isn't what you think. We've all seen the symbol, 10 glowing spheres connected by lines, sometimes golden, sometimes fiery, sometimes mystical. It's printed on book covers, carved into jewelry, even used in video games. But what does it actually mean? Today, we'll explore the true structure behind this ancient symbol, what it tells us about the soul, about reality, and about your role in it. The tree of life isn't just another spiritual icon. It's rooted deeply in ancient wisdom, emerging from profound mystical experiences and symbolizing the journey from infinite potential to physical reality. Yet many misunderstand its purpose, viewing it as merely decorative or magical. Let's begin. First, the origins of the tree. The tree of life, or Etz Chaim in Hebrew, is not a modern concept. Its origins lie in the earliest mystical texts of Judaism, especially the Sefer Yetzirah, and later the Zohar. But the tree, as we visualize it today, comes primarily from the teachings of Isaac Luria, known as the Ari, a 16th century Kabbalist whose insights revolutionized spiritual understanding. He didn't invent the tree, he decoded it. To understand why it matters, we have to go back to the central event of all Kabbalistic teaching, creation. In the beginning, there was only the light, the infinite force of giving, harmony, and pure fulfillment. The light wanted to give, so it created a vessel, a spiritual container to receive all the light had to offer. But this vessel wasn't just a passive object, it was conscious, a soul, and when it realized it was only receiving, not giving, it shattered, not in anger, in purpose. This shattering is called the Shevirat HaKelim, the breaking of the vessels, and from that breaking came us, a fragmented world, a spiritual system now in repair. The tree of life is the blueprint for that repair. Second, 10. Sephirot, 10 qualities of reality. The tree is built of 10 spheres, called Sephirot. These aren't places, they're not planets or chakras. They are 10 modalities of light, 10 ways the infinite interacts with the finite. Here they are. Keter, crown, the divine will to create. Imagine a spark of inspiration before thought even forms. Chochmah, wisdom, the raw, undifferentiated light, like an intuitive insight that suddenly appears. Bina, understanding, the womb that shapes light into form as ideas become clear and structured. Chesed, loving kindness, the force of pure expansion, the generosity and openness of unconditional giving. Gevurah, restraint, the boundary that gives shape as when you set clear and necessary limits. Tifereh, beauty, the balance between giving and holding, an integrated harmony between generosity and boundaries. Netzach, endurance, the energy of persistence, resilience, and determination. Hodiyu, humility, the energy of receptivity and form, the capacity to yield, adapt, and listen deeply. Yesod, foundation, the transmitter of all above into reality, grounding ideas into actions. Malchut, kingdom, the vessel, the recipient, United States, the world around you, receiving and reflecting everything. Each asterisk sephira is both cosmic and internal. Third, the structure of the tree. The 10 sephira aren't random, they're structured. They fall into 3 vertical columns, known as pillars. The right column is expansive, giving, masculine. The left is restrictive, receiving, feminine. The center is balance, integration, flow. These aren't gender roles, they're energetic dynamics. Every action you take reflects one of these flows. The tree is also structured in 3 layers. The top 3, the intellectual Sephirot, Keter, Chochmah, Bina, the middle six, the emotional Sephirot, Chesed through Yesod, the final one, Malchut, which receives everything above. This isn't abstract, it's profoundly practical. When you make a decision, you're using Chochmah and Bina. When you brainstorm ideas, you use Chochmah. When you plan their implementation, you use Binah. When you feel moved to act, that's Chesed or Gevurah. Showing kindness is Chesed. Setting healthy limits and boundaries is Gevurah. When you bring the idea into reality through speech, action, or creation, that's Yesod to Malchut. When you follow through, speak truthfully, or take clear actions, you're activating these aspects. The tree is the blueprint of manifestation. Fourth, the tree as a map of the soul. Kabbalah teaches that you are not a single entity. You are a system, a structure, a soul composed of layers. Each layer corresponds to a sephira. When you feel confused or lost, it's often because one part of the system is blocked or misaligned. If you have many ideas, choshmah, but struggle to actualize them, binah, your system is imbalanced. You might feel expansive love, chest, yet lack the strength to set boundaries, gevurah, leading to burnout or resentment. The tree is a diagnostic tool, not to fix what's broken, but to align what's whole. When each sephira flows into the next, the system becomes luminous. You become a conduit of light. Fifth, misunderstandings and myths. The tree of life has been appropriated, misunderstood, and distorted in many modern settings. It's been merged with other mystical systems, used for magic, commercialized into self-help trends. None of that is inherently wrong. But the authentic Kabbalistic tree is not a toy. It's not a way to manifest your desires or predict the future. It's a path to become a different kind of receiver. Not one who takes, but one who transforms. Each asterisk, sephira asterisk is a mirror. These questions aren't always easy, but they lead to the deepest answers. Sixth, how to use the tree. This may be the most important part. Kabbalah isn't about memorizing diagrams, it's about applying wisdom to life. So how do you use the tree? Step by step. 1. Study it slowly. Learn the Sephirot as soul states. Observe yourself. Which Sephirot are dominant in your actions? 3. Identify imbalance. Are you always in Gevurah, rarely in Chesed? 4th, practice intention. Shift your inner state before acting. 5. Use meditation. Visualize the tree, not as fantasy, but as a structure you inhabit. 6. Reflect daily. Where did I receive today? Where did I give? Was it aligned? Over time, the tree becomes less a diagram and more a map of your being, not all at once, but layer by layer, just like creation. Gevurah, 7th, final reflection. So let's return to our title. The tree of life isn't what you think. It's not mystical wallpaper, it's not just a beautiful metaphor. It's a system, a living diagram of the soul, the cosmos, and the connection between them. It's the code behind the transformation of desire. And that's what Kabbalah is really about. Becoming the kind of vessel who can receive the light, not as a flash of inspiration, but as a way of life. The tree isn't something to believe in, it's something to become. Thank you for tuning in to Kabbalah Daily. When you have seen everything, comment, "I am ready to receive," as our secret sign that you are a true follower of Kabbalah. If this sparked something in you, subscribe and like for more weekly insights. Share this with someone who's ready to look deeper. Until next time, receive with intention, give with purpose.